And this is my this is my son's computer, right? And
Uh,
he came in and I was using it like, why are you using my computer? I'm like,
uh,
dude, okay. Is it streaming?
it is streaming, yeah. And then we'll wait for you to get your trading view going and everything, right?
Yeah, I have TradingView set up already.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna should I go ahead and start the feeds?
Um, Hang on, let me make sure.
Yep. And then I'll do a bit of an intro again, just because I deleted the other ones.
Okay. So am I good to close this one?
Which one? Restream?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, close it. I'll,
Okay.
I'll set that up. Cool. All right. Ready to go?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm starting up. Okay, starting with Instagram. And just rejoining Instagram now. And of course, let's make sure that we mention the price points for the for when we do the summary. It'll be a little bit easier.
Sure.
Okay, so going, we are on Instagram now, and I'll let everybody know about the 720p. Okay, YouTube is starting, and X is starting up, and I'm going to confirm everything's working here. Yeah, X is good. Take a quick look at the numbers. You know what? The numbers look pretty good. I could see them. So then let me take a look at the YouTube. Confirm everything's cool here. I had to take my hat off. I usually put it on when I'm serious, but I also take it off when I get serious too. It's like one of the, if I already have it on, then and I need to get serious, I'll take it off. And then the other way around as well, right?
All right. I do. You saw me in my camera. This computer doesn't have a webcam, so I can't show you. But the blue thing that you saw me wearing,
Yeah,
yeah, that's my Zen mood.
yeah, nice. I think I have one of those too. Mine is like what's it called? Like kind of plaid red or something too.
Yeah, kind of it gets me into the serious mood.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna drop a message for the Instagram users, letting them know about X and YouTube until we get the aspect ratio fixed. Yeah, so we are going to be adding, doing a stream on TikTok and Twitch as well. So stay tuned for that. Apologies for the service interruption earlier. Just a little bit of a technical issue, but that seems to be resolved now. Looks like we can see the numbers a little bit better too, so that's going to be good. But yeah, right after the session, we'll also be having the recap and summaries of all the different pairs by each pair. And that should follow shortly. We've got that process resolved since yesterday. So as a quick update, I'm still a family member's home and not in my home office. So uh, It's a little bit trickier to not have my setup in my GPUs, but that's going to be resolved as of tomorrow as well. So things are going to go a lot smoother. From Another quick update is that one of our developers from that was working on our platform from 2016 until about 2022, he's come back on board as of last night, and he's very knowledgeable. He's a very crack dev, and he's going to be rejoining the team as of last night, and that will help us speed things along when it comes to the Web3 and the agentic integrations. So I just wanted to kind of update everybody on that. Of course, the tokenomics and everything is being resolved as well. We're talking to brokers, lawyers, and partners to make sure that we get everything proper and worked out with securities. So that's just from a professional standpoint, we want to make sure that everybody is in a good place and all the checks are checked and whatever the saying is, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. So thank you for your patience as we get all that set up. Of course, we're going to be updating the documentation on the website, opening up the portal. You'll be able to connect with your wallet with using the token, etc. And of course, all those features are going to be divulged and expanded upon with the community, right? So we want to make sure the community's 100% involved in being able to grow this into a larger platform and larger features. There's been a lot of questions about another token, Decrypto. That is actually something that's a separate project, and it is in almost a hiatus state at the moment. However, I'll be talking about that a little later on, only because it is a separate project. It is for the DeFi space mainly, and it will be integrated with Forex Lens in capacity. However, it is a separate thing, so we won't really be talking about it. And my apologies for not really saying anything. In full transparency, I'm just trying to make sure that this community is 100% um, I guess kind of like its own thing, which it is, and of course that has been the what I've been advised on. So full separate team on that and everything like that. So we'll be getting into that as the days develop and as we hear back from our brokers and lawyers and everything. So just stay tuned on that. And yeah, so I'll be passing along more information probably later today and tomorrow in regards to that project. Um, as before, I just wanted to mention that if you're really into the markets and you want to understand a bit more about the dollar index and how the dollar works, pick up this book. This is The Creature from Jekyll Island. There's a fifth edition. It's reads like a spy novel. It's really cool. You'll really like it. And yeah, it's just a recommended reading for a little bit of extra market knowledge. Now I'll be passing the microphone on to IT, and he'll be doing his thing. Uh, yeah, go ahead, IT.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Igor. I apologize for earlier, my network. Currently, I've switched the computers. This computer actually is much better with the network graphic card that is in there. So the connection is much stable. Just that I'm only using one monitor, so I'm a little bit uncomfortable with the screen because it's so small, but I'll deal with it. So bear with me because I haven't worked on one screen for a very long time. I'm always working with two massive screens, but I'm now handicapped with just one. So let's go back to what I was saying earlier about the dollar index. Okay, let me turn off a few of my indicators and then we're good to go. Okay. All right. So I was saying earlier that we are still looking at this imbalance on the weekly. To see how price is going to react in there. Um, I don't believe that this is going to continue going all the way up to 115. However, it still has a little bit of room to the upside, um, where probably we might touch this candle's low before anything lower. Now, in terms of where it can actually reach for, I'd like to do the projections, the fib extension levels. So with this down movement that happened here, if we project it to the upside, we can see the 127 is where we currently at. The 168 is where the imbalance will be closed in on the monthly. And obviously, if we do touch it, then maybe something is going to happen. So looking at how the daily is trading, I still favor upside on the dollar index. So if you are trading any of the majors, just make sure that you are on the side of upside, right? Because dollar index is still going up. So look for continuation to the upside. Just be a little bit careful because we are still early in the year. It takes at least a week or two or so for um, actual, I'll say, market participants to come in and start moving price. So just be a little bit careful because it's too early for the year. However, if you are the sort of person that have to trade, then dollar index is bullish. Okay, so look for continuation to the upside. On the higher time frame, I've given levels. Right, you're looking at the 109.600 level. That's the next upside objective that dollar index can reach for, right? Which is the closure of that fair value gap on the monthly. I'll go back to the monthly. Oops. If I go back to the monthly, you see this big gap, right? It be closed in at that 168 extension level. Okay, so that's the 109,600 level. That's where I think we will be reaching for next. So just stay with that direction for now. If anything changes, I will see it and then I'll update it. But until then, that's your next upside objective. So dollar index 109.600. That's where we are heading for. Unless something comes in tomorrow, because I think tomorrow is NFP. Um, so if anything comes in tomorrow and then changes that narrative, then obviously we'll change. But until then, I think that's where we should be focusing on. Okay, and then definitely if that's the case, then euros should also continue going lower. And just like I did with the, just give me a second. Okay, I apologize. My son always has to come into the office when I'm doing stuff like this. That's okay. Um,
He wants his
next,
computer back.
yeah. Next week he'll be going back to school, so I wouldn't have that issues next week because he'll be back to school by this time anyway. So with the projection on euro, you can also see where we currently at the 168 level. So I think there's still room to the downside, but I'm not fully convinced that we will close in the gap on the euro, which is this one here. I'm not fully convinced we'll close in the gap. So with this, we'll be looking at the middle of the gap. So just pay attention to, let me find that level. Okay, so the middle be 102, 1.02448. So 1.02448. That's if dollar index continue going to that level that I mentioned, then that will be your next downside objective on euro. Okay, so again, that's if nothing changes with NFP tomorrow, because NFP is kind of pretty wild when it comes to the higher time frame. It can change the direction, right? So if it does change it, obviously, then we will switch. But until then, stay with what price is currently doing, all right? And the same thing goes for British pound. So British pound, you are looking, I think we might probably pause a little bit here. 1.2404. Price might pause. Again, this is happening because Euro pound is actually screaming to the upside. That's why you have pound being so bearish, right? If you're not actually aware, Euro pound is the one that I think ICT calls it the dark horse. You can use it to choose whether you want to trade euro or the pound, depending on the direction of the euro pound. If euro pound is going up, then you short pound dollar. If euro pound is going down, then you short euro dollar. Okay, so with euro pound going up, it's better to be shorting the pound pace. Okay, so I think pound probably will pause in here for now, and then maybe euro will continue going down. So best option is I'll prefer selling more euro because pound has dropped significantly and is currently trading at a level that might cause price to maybe give a bounce. Okay, in here, there's a lot of confluences in here, which is this last down candle price they move up. We also have a balanced price range. At the same time, we had inverted fair value gap. All of that business happening in here. So it might pause, and then maybe euro be the one to go down. However, if NFP comes in, it might just drive it lower. So if you are trading today, best thing is look for sell on euro. Okay, because pound has dropped into a, I would say, resistance or support. Yeah, support. I get confused with that support and resistance stuff. I'm not really good at them. Anyway, um, the next one is Aussie. Now, Aussie, I think yesterday I said that we should be running for this low, and I think that's what might happen tomorrow. They might send it down. So if you do love trading Aussie, that'll be your next downside objective, which is 0.61689. I think that's where they're gonna run it to. Let me find the actual level because I might give you the wrong level. So it's 0.6170. That's the right one. Okay. So looking where we are, I think they're just pulling back into this last up candle and then we will smash down probably either later today or tomorrow. So if you're looking for a trade idea, then I think look at Aussie for a potential continuation to the downside. Um, New Zealand is also the same. You can look for continuation to the downside. Let me go on to here to find the level where we're going to be targeting. Now, if you look at this whole move to the upside, right, they've gone way deeper than where we'll be expecting it to reverse from. So ideally, they will aim for this low, but the rejection block, which is the last down candle closing price, that will be where price might struggle. So on the weekly, that will be the rejection block here. So price might now trade to that level, which is 0.5558 level. So with this pullback happening, that would be a nice selling opportunity to take us to 0.5558 level. Okay. Now, let me give you what will change the levels that I'm talking about. We'll go back. So let's start with the New Zealand. Now, for price to change what I'm saying, it will need to go above this high. So as long as price is below this week's high so far, I think Monday's high. Today's Thursday. Yeah. So as long as we are below Monday's high, the next downside objective will be the 0.5558 level. Okay, so this is where I will be wrong in terms of where I'm saying price is gonna go. And I think yesterday I mentioned that you always want to have that mental stop loss where you think price shouldn't go based on your bias, and that's where price shouldn't go. So if we go above it, then that 0.5558 level should be put in the bin and then wait for more data. Okay. But as long as we are below that, that's where I think price is going. So basically, you look for sales to trade there. If we go back to Aussie, I think Aussie is similar. So Aussie level will be, okay, let me go back and give you the numbers for the New Zealand. So for New Zealand, this is where we will be wrong. So if we trade above 0.5664, then the downside objective is basically put aside, and then we will look for something else. But until then, we are still aiming for 0.558 level. Okay, so 0.5664, we don't want to see price trade there, right? And as long as price is below that, price will aim for 0.5558 level. If we go back to Aussie, that will be 0.6246. We don't want to see price again trade above it or close above it. If we close above it, that would change the whole narrative for the time being. It doesn't change the bias, but it changes the narrative for the time being. And then we will probably look for maybe somewhere in here. We will look somewhere in here for the continuation to the downside. Okay. But again, as long as we are below that 0.6246 level, we are aiming for 0.6170. And then I think let's go back to Euro. I think Euro is pretty much too bearish. So what I don't want to see is a close above 1.037. It won't change the narrative, but it will probably give a temporary pullback into that range, which is this week's range from this high here. So 1.044 1.0458. And then I'm assuming this is just assumption. Okay. What I'm saying is we don't want to see price do this. If we do that, then this will be a range, a short-term range that price is going to trade within. And that means that downside objective still remains, but you might, depending on the type of trader you are. So if you are, say, short-term trader to swing trader, then you can look for a sell to continue going down. But if you're a day trader, then you just need to sit and wait because price will now have come back inside a kind of a range. Okay. So we don't want to see price close above 1.0375, which is today's high. And then if we go back to British pound, I think it's the same thing. Today's high, which is 1.2540. We don't want to see price close above that. If the price closes, then we have to put the downside objective to the sidelines and then wait. Okay. So now you have all the levels that I am actually watching. So if you are a forex trader, that's all you have. Now, in terms of the crosses, I will leave that for now, and we will discuss crosses maybe later on next week because when it comes to the crosses, everyone is different. You can see I don't have all the crosses here. I have a few of them, and that's because that's the ones that I prefer to look at. So when it comes to the crosses, I'll leave that, and then upon request, I'll look for what people want me to look out for them. But I'll always be discussing the majors, and then I'll give you my preference when it comes to the process. Because just to be honest with you, I'm watching this pair because we will potentially pull back into this big down movement that has happened. Okay, we will be potentially pulling back. So I'm watching it to see if we can start getting price to trade above this week's high so far. So New Zealand CAD is one of my favorite pairs that I like to trade between October and March. October and March, that's 6 months period. It's my favorite pair to trade during that time of the year between October and March. It's always bullish most of the time. So I'm anticipating something like that, but it hasn't confirmed yet. So I'm patiently waiting. Once I get the confirmation, then I'll start looking for the potential buy, right? So keep an eye on that. Sometimes this kind of move, you can buy and hold for months. And to give you an example, this is what I did in 2022, October, November, December. That's when I held on to such a nice big move to the upside. And then last year, I'm sorry, not last year, 2023, same thing happened over here during October, November, December. I was able to capture some of that movement. This year is a year that didn't happen, but that's fine because seasonality sometimes, it will be raining season, but there will be no rain, right? So sometimes the seasonality doesn't play out and you just have to deal with it. However, it's a 6 months seasonal tendency. So if it didn't play out between the October, November, December, then you look out for the January, February, March. And that's basically what I'll be looking at. All right, let's have a look at gold. Let me remove all this drawing. So with gold, from the high time frame perspective, looking at how last month closed, I don't like it when we have an inside candle because it makes predicting price very, I would say difficult, but a little bit challenging. Now, a little bit about price action. Every time every single candle starts, you want it to close somewhere, either closing higher, closing lower, or taking out the high or taking out the low. When it doesn't do that, um, that's called an inside candle. And sometimes it can be tricky trading that, especially on a high time frame. So since it did close as an inside candle, price can either go for the high or it can come for the low, and it makes it tricky to trade. So gold, be careful long term what you are aiming for, because this candle here is an inside candle, right? And inside candles is based on what I have experienced, it's an accumulation or distribution. They might be buying more or they might be selling. It depends on where the price is going. But since it's been bullish, it could be buying. And sometimes if it's buying, they will come back down to take out the low first and then go higher. Okay. So be careful trading gold. Um, if you are a short-term trader to swing trader, but if you're a day trader, then definitely you can look for some trade ideas on the lower time frame, which again I'm not going to discuss today because we're trying to look at the outlook of how the market is going to behave, because the market has not actually started trading yet. In my perspective, we have to wait a little bit more when it comes to the Forex market or even the indices or the commodities market. But crypto is a different ball game together. So we will look at crypto um, soon. Crude oil. So I think I mentioned this candle's high. Um, 74.41. That's what I want to see price close above, and then I'll be basically bullish. So since price is aiming for that, and we are in January, I'll be basically hunting for a buy. Okay. Now, if you're a day trader, you can look for buys towards that level, because I think we might have the seasonality to push price higher. Um, Based on how I'm seeing price right now, it might be aiming for that level. And if you look on the weekly, it's just showing signs of this down candle being respected, this down candle being respected, and we have a down candle here that traded back into this, and it's also be respected. So we will be trading probably towards that monthly high. Okay, so you can look for a continuation to the upside on crude oil. Just be mindful. Okay, don't chase when it's extremely high like that. Just wait for the pullback and then you join. But we will go into lower time frames maybe next week. For this week, just take the high time frame advice and then deal with it for now. Okay. But crude oil will be one of the pairs that we will be diving deep into it, because that's the pair that I love to trade. Okay. So pretty much that's it for the majors and gold and crude oil. Let's go and have a look at the crypto market and see what's happening. Mr. Igor, is there any question from our audience before I continue?
Uh, so far so good. Uh, yeah, I think we're good to go.
Okay,
Cool.
cool. All right. Again, when it comes to the crypto market, there's so many of them. Um, so I'll just go with the popular ones and the ones that we will always be looking at. Let's start with Solana. You can see how this big move has come in. Now, yesterday I mentioned that if you are a long-term investor or if you're a swing trader, you buy where price was and then you leave your stop loss below this down candle or here, because we should not be breaching that candle, right? So if you're long term or a swing trader, then you should be in by now and then expecting price to continue going higher to uh 264.93. That's where we'll be heading for, okay? Because this was all a pullback. Now, with how today's candle has come in, I'm still not really convinced yet because of how, again, price left all these lows. Um, I don't like trading longs when they are equal lows or below me. I don't like it. Preferably, I want to see a sweep, maybe something like this, right? So if we had maybe a candle poking its head below this low, then I know that they've killed some traders before price rejecting. But if they leave it bare like that, it's always scary to go long, personally. So again, if you are a long-term trader, then that's fine because your stop loss is not going to be below any of these lows. You'll be protected somewhere down here, right? But if you are a short-term trader or a day trader, then don't leave your stop loss anywhere here because cryptos sometimes can get a little bit volatile and they will just send it down with one candle and then it will reject and go high again. And I think you can, if you look on the higher time frame, you can see pretty much some of them here, here, and here, right? They create that long wicks, and those long wicks are basically a run to kill anyone that is bullish before price actually goes up, right? So again, if you are a long term, then there's nothing wrong being lit. Just expect a continuity into the upside to let me use this 642646 That's the next upside objective. And if we go above it, then you can project. I think I've taught something very simple here. You can project this down candle to the upside and then aim for the, give me 1 second. Okay. Okay. So if we go above it, which we are aiming for the 264.63 level, but this down candle, as soon as we go above it, you can project it and then start aiming for 292.12 and then 319.77. Okay. So that would be upside objectives. Right now, the actual level that price will be reaching for will be the 264.63. But again, if we go just above it, then it's still bullish and it will aim for these upside objectives that I'm mentioning. Okay. So just stick with that. Don't change your bias. Um, let's look at Bitcoin. This was a nice trade that one of my students actually took. Okay. So Bitcoin currently, this is the level. If we go above it, then we'll resume going higher. Maybe they might not come for the previous month low. Again, I'm not fully convinced because with this week, I've seen based on experience that they will come for this low. So I'm not fully convinced that this move to the upside is going to continue going higher. Now, one simple trick to understand why I'm saying that is every candle has got a wick. So the monthly candle, if it's going to be a down candle, it needs a wick on the upside. If it's going to be an up candle, it needs a wick on the downside. So just imagine this candle is blue, and then imagine this candle is black. This candle here, if it's black, it will open and then it will go up and then it will come down and it will close down here. And that will end up being a black candle. Okay. So if that's the case, then when it opens and it's going up, you need to be careful because that up movement is just manipulation and it's going to reject and go down. And every single candle has something like that. So when you are anticipating what I'm anticipating right now, this is the opening price. If you look at it from the monthly perspective, this is where we opened and we've gone up. So this up movement, this is a range, this high to this low. That's a range, and it has some resistance levels that price will struggle to go through. First one is this fair value gap, and then the last up candle, right? Now, that those are levels that price will form potentially the high, and then it will reject and then go lower to come and attack this low. So if we trade through that, that is when I'll basically be aiming for somewhere here. But as long as this one, this gap and this is there, I'm aiming for 91,279. Okay. So Bitcoin, don't get excited that we are going higher yet. Be careful with this fair value gap. Um, the actual levels will be 97.34.0 and 97.55.7 in there with that up candle. That's what you're watching. Because once we touch it, I'll basically be expecting a rejection to come back down. Okay. So that would be Bitcoin for you. Um, let's look at Ethereum. So Ethereum is similar. I'm expecting them to come for December's low. Um, this has got some clean equal highs, this and that, which was previous week's highs. This high here. It might take out that high, which is last week's high, and then reject and come lower. Again, let's learn something here. Whenever price is going down, and then we print an inside candle, this one here, the high and the low of the candle is within this candle, this big down candle. That's what an inside candle is. And like I was saying earlier, it's going to be a reaccumulation or redistribution. What do I mean by that? They are actually either selling more or they are buying more, depending on where price is going. Now, since we've had this big sell-off, it means that price is going down, not bearish, but it's going down for the time being. So this will be a redistribution, right? Meaning they are selling inside that candle. And when that happens, okay, when that happens, most of the time, and you can go through price and then you can see lots of examples of what I'm saying. Most of the time, they will aim for the high of that redistribution candle and then resume going lower. I think a quick example would be right here. Um, sorry for my screen for today. I'm actually using a smaller screen. So just bear with me. So if you look at this candle, Okay, that is an inside candle within this one, right? Now, when that happens, like I'm saying, that is a redistribution they are selling. So the next candle is likely to take out the high and then resume going lower. That's what I think Ethereum might do. So if you are, trading Ethereum, just pay attention to that high. And that high comes in at 35, sorry, 3,545.21, that level. On the daily time frame, it looks very, very clean because it has a high right next to it. This one and that one. That's too clean. So it might poke its head above it and then reject and come in attack this low. So our main objective is for price to attack this low, which is 3,096.16. Okay, that's where I think we should be aiming for in terms of short term or short term to medium term. That's what we be aiming for. Okay, so again, don't get excited with what you're seeing. Um, we will talk more about that because this excitement is what drives market participants, you know, and then they'll go against them. That's how institutions love to trade. They will excite everybody and then kill them off. So don't get too excited with the pump that you're seeing. Um, so yeah, that's Ethereum for you. Let's go to Tetsuo. Today I remembered.
Yeah, nice. I'm gonna say it too. Tetsuo. I just like to say it too.
Yeah, the way I wrote it down it makes it easier for me to remember. All right. So I think nothing has really changed. We are still above this. So as long as we're above that, we should be expecting price to go higher. Okay. Nothing really has changed much since the 1st of January. Nothing has changed. And I still think it has the potential to go above this high. Okay. So again, depending on the project behind it, if the fundamentals are good, investors should be in scooping this because it's at the very early stage, right? And then once you go above it, probably it'll be too late. Not really too late, but the earlier you get in, the better, right? Because it's at very cheap level. If I was an institution, right, and I see the project behind this would be the time to basically buy as much as you can, and then just leave it, hold it, because the project behind it is the fundamental drive. So if the project behind it is, something that most people are interested in, then it's definitely going to be worth it in holding it for, I don't know, a year to maybe 10 years from now. Because when Bitcoin first came out, nobody was interested. Now, 10 years later, everybody's shouted Bitcoin, right? So the same thing. Tatsuo can be, well, right now, nobody's really interested, but 10 years from now, everybody be shouting Tatsuo, right? So if you are, interested in the project, then we are at a very cheap level. So you can basically look for a buy. Anywhere in here is still good. Preferably, maybe a run below these lows here and then buy it. But I would rather don't want to see it come down there because they have closed above this weekly high on a daily basis right there. And most of the time, when they do that, it's their confirmation price wants to go higher. When we close above weekly highs and we close below weekly lows on a daily basis, let me repeat it. When you have a weekly, oops, when we have a, uh, when we have a weekly high or low, this, and then the daily time frame closes above it like this, or the daily time frame closes below it like that. Most of the time, it's a sign it wants to keep going in that direction or in that direction. And since they've closed above the weekly high on a daily basis, then that direction. Okay. So yeah, that's all for you.
Hey,
Uh,
IT, sorry to interrupt. I was wondering, are you able to go over those projection levels you showed yesterday for Tetsuo, just for the
sure.
traders? Thank you.
Okay. So think for the traders, if you want to understand the, I'll say the mechanics behind the projection, you just need to understand how investors trade. They buy when price is going down and they sell when price is going up. It's very simple. Okay. So with this movement down, since it's a new project, we are going to assume that this was all a buy and price is gonna go up. So if that's the case, what we do is we project the buy-in and then we aim for the same amount of movement that happened to the downside, we project it to the upside. So since the buying started from this candle all the way up, now why this candle? Um, because this candle was the, according to ICT, this will become a breaker, basically. It will be the breaker. Now the breaker is the manipulation candle they used to initiate the movement down. Think I'll talk more about that in the future. Let's just do the projection. Um, so this movement down is what the institutions use. So when they can go back above that, especially the down candle, okay, when they can go above that, then we can project and then see where they might be taking price to. And most of the time, it will reach for 127. So the 127 is 0.0462. The 168 will be 0.5661, and then the 2, which would be 0.0680. Okay, so those are the projected levels for price to trade to once we go above the down candle, preferably a close above it. So if you're watching Tetsuo, as soon as the weekly candle closes above this down candle here, which is 0.0308. Once the weekly candle can close above it, you can start aiming for this upside objective that I've just projected. Okay, is that right?
That's great. Yeah, thank you very much.
Cool. And then I think AI. Yesterday we talked about AI 6160, and I did mention that if the daily was able to close above this down candle, then it's gonna continue going up. And I did a projection on this down candle, right? That's the only thing that I can do for now. And you can see they went for the 2%. So as soon as price went above that candle, so yeah, once that candle traded above the daily, this H4 closed above it, Price was supposed to go to which is 2.29074. Now we are pulling back, so it's kind of creating something similar to what this one did. So again, that'll be depending. I think it might not go up today. It might go up tomorrow. So this might be another reaccumulation. Okay. Now, if price is going up like this and then you see a down candle, that's reaccumulation. That's reaccumulation. That's the buy. Okay. So we're expecting them to buy with this and then go up again. So if you are interested in this pair, I think the right level to hands for the buy would be preferably this candle and below, this level and below, 1.19, 1.914 and below. You want to buy there. Don't buy where we are now. You're going to buy from here and below. And where you be wrong will be here, which is 1.54090. That's where you be wrong. As long as we are above this level, price will go up again. And this time, you can also project this down candle to the upside again. We've not closed yet. The candle has not closed yet. So I don't know, maybe this can go all the way down to this level and then you will have to adjust to that. But let's assume we've closed. So that would be the projection to the upside. You can aim for 127, 168. So the 127 level is 2.6752. The 168 level is 2.8733. And then the 2 level will be 3.09334. That's assuming this candle has closed. So just keep an eye on it. Where it closes, next day you're looking for continuation to the upside. And the buy will be preferably buying below, at or below 1.9141. Okay. And then pretty much yesterday I went through price and then I shared, I think, three cryptocurrencies. The first one was cake. It's similar to Solana. Let's go to the weekly. It's similar to Solana. Uh, Same thing. We are aiming back up here. So if you are interested in it long term, then you are good to go. Just make sure that you protect yourself. I think they call it liquidation level, if I'm right, when it comes to crypto. They don't call it stop loss, do they? Correct me if I'm wrong, Igor.
Oh, yeah, no, it's all good. It's all the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So liquidation level will be 1.75, 1.758. As long as we are above it, we'll be aiming for 4, 4.52. Okay. Um, the next one that I saw was this. But this I said that I would need it to trade a little bit lower first before we can look for the buy. This one is doing exactly how I want to see price, which is they've taken out that previous week low first. So as long as they do that, I'm always good for a potential buy. Now, if you look at it from a daily perspective, you can see they've closed above this down candle. Now, when I see that, that gives me, again, my mental stop loss. Okay. Because I need to know where I will be wrong. And that's always your first thing. That's what you want to find out first. Where will you be wrong in terms of where you think price is going? So now that they've managed to close above this down candle, that is where I'll be wrong. As long as we are above it, I'm gonna aim for higher prices because from the weekly perspective, it's still bullish. This was all just a pullback, so I expect it to continue going higher. unless this is not a pullback and it's a reversal, then of course we'll be wrong when price trade back below here. And then we can probably look for continuation to the downside as a sell. But that's not the case right now. And I think pretty much that is it. Because we
Oh,
have too many of them. So if there's any
I,
question, then
I see. There are some folks asking if we can look at tchotchke again, since we looked at it yesterday, and I can spell it out for you.
yeah,
T-S-O-T-E-O-T.
TS,
C-H-K-E.
that one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's see if I can recall what I said yesterday. Uh, let's go to the weekly. Yeah, I think I said it's still bullish. It's gonna go for this high. So pardon me because I've got so many things. Um, so if I don't
First.
remember exactly what I said, but I think that's where it's gonna go. Um, I don't fully remember exactly what I said, but right now this is where it's gonna go. 0.0614. And looking at it from a daily perspective, yeah, I think that's where it's gonna go. They did take out the um accumulation candle law. Yeah, this down candle is in between this big wick, right? The high and the low is in that. So once they take out that low, it's good to go to continue going up. So I think it will be aiming for 0.6. And in terms of projection, let's see. I think they've already, yeah, they already aimed, they did go for the 2% um level. So unless they print another down candle on the weekly, then we can project. For now, they've gone for the actual target. So beyond that, I don't look for three. Most of the time, I don't do that unless we are extremely bullish or extremely bearish, and this is not the case right now. So since they've gone for that, the next upside objective is going to be still that level. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's great. We got a request for AVAX. I believe we covered it yesterday or the day before.
AVAX. So AVAX is similar to I think Bitcoin. This candle is an inside candle, so it might go for the high. It's too clean, and then reject and go lower. Now, from the range perspective, we did touch OTE. Now, when they do touch OTE, which is that's all that I'm going to share in terms of my what I do. OTE is very, very simple. Just find a range, wait for price to trade into discount, and then you buy to continue going up or you sell to continue going lower. But when price comes to OTE, I always look for a specific level for them to trade to, right? And that level is between the 618 to the 79 retracement level. So the 618 to the 79 retracement level. In there are some things that I look for. So let's go to daily, and let's see. Yeah. So to me, this is enough to send it back up to this equal high. So it's going to depend on the kind of trader you are. And that's something that as a trader, you need to find out what kind of trader you are. Are you a, are you an investor? Are you a swing trader? Are you a day trader? Are you a scalper? You need to know that because price is dynamic. It's going up and down on all time frames. So if you know which one you are, then the time frame that you're going to choose will give you basically the all that you need. So what I'm trying to say is, as a let's say investor, I don't mind buying here with my liquidation level being down here and then expect it to go up because I don't see the necessity for price to come back here, right? Especially when it got to this level. Now, for someone that is not an investor or and you are a swing trader, buying here might not be good for you because maybe your account cannot hold for price to even come back down again to then go up. So as a swing trader, then you have to wait for more confirmation. And that's basically where I'm leaning to. I don't have enough confirmation to say that price is going up yet. Okay. So if I was to be trading this, I want to see them come back down, take out this low, which is last month low, and then I'll be interested in the buy. So I will want to see them come back below this candle's wick, and then I'll look for the buy. Right. So that's why it depends on the kind of trader you are. Again, if you are a day trader, then after yesterday closed, then this could have been a small little range that you can trade into premium, right? So it's trading is very, very dynamic and personal. Depends on how the person asking trades. So if you're a long-term trader, then yes, we will go back up to this level, which is 55.84. That's where price will go back to based on the high time frame. But if you are a day trader, then maybe you might want to aim for the previous week high, which is this one here, 42.02. If you're a scalper, baby, you don't have a trade because price is in premium. Okay. So that's AVAX. I think it has the potential to keep going up, definitely, but depends on how you are trading, the person asking.
Amazing. I am, as always, sitting down and taking paper notes, trying to bake everything into my subconscious.
Is there any other request?
I've been looking through and so far so good. There's some project description requests and I'll take care of that a little bit later. But
Oh,
I, I kind of wanted to ask you about, we were talking before the session about your meditation and I thought that was really cool, what some of
oh,
the
okay,
things we
okay,
got
yeah,
into.
yeah, yeah. So one of the things that we'll be doing quite a lot when it comes to the project that we are doing is to work on ourselves. Um, because trading is not just hitting the mouse and then staring at some charts. Most of the time, it's more internal. You're battling within yourself, right? Whether you should buy, whether you should sell, whether you should hold, whether you should take profit, or whether you should take the loss, right? So it's an internal battle. Now, if you're going to trade, then you need to understand you, the trader, and most people don't like that aspect. Okay, so we need to go through some series of I would say psychology, but series of deep stuff to understand who you are so that you be able to trade. Because trading is not just clicking a button. You're trading certain things within yourself. You're battling things within yourself. And um, I'm a big, huge fan of personal development. If you are not developing yourself, then I don't know. Again, let me say this. One of the um some inspiration that I got during my meditation was um if you are not evolving, then you'll be destroyed so that you will restart again because everything is evolving. Okay, nothing is permanent, that nothing is stagnant, nothing is um actually devolving. Everything needs to evolve. So if you look at just a simple analogy, iPhone, since iPhone came into existence, you can see the trajectory, right? Where it started from. iPhone 3, iPhone 4, now we are iPhones, I don't know, 17, right? Or 16. So everything is evolving. The planet, everything. And you, as a person, you need to evolve as well. And if you're not evolving, then I don't know what's gonna happen to you. You're gonna get disconnected so that you can start all over again and then evolve. Okay. So one of the things that we'll be discussing more in future, not during the live sessions like this, but it'll be off topic, off charts, is to help you to develop who you are as a person so that you can deal with some of the internal battles that most of us deal with, especially with our emotions, with our mental state of being. Because once you are very, very healthy mentally, emotionally, and physically, you are going to rule the world, basically. Okay. And it starts with a passion, a desire to do that. You need to have a passion and a desire to work on who you are as a person. Once you have just that desire to do it, everything else is gonna fall in place. Because you as a person, you don't do really much. And this might sound a little bit crazy, but you are who you are. Okay, nothing is actually you are not doing anything in a way. Look from the moment you were born to now, you've not done anything. You're just an observer. You're going through stuff that is happening. Okay. And you might not understand it now, but in future you will. You are just observing what is happening around you, but you've got yourself so much involved in it that you forgot that you are an observer of what is happening around you. And when you get so much involved, that's when you get too much, one, emotional, two, you get too attached to everything physical. Now, the work is to detach. Once you detach from all these things, you're going to see clearly what's happening around you, especially your internal state of being or your inner being. And like I said, we will be discussing more of that off topic to help you develop as a person. And then once that person is developed, you see that trading becomes very, very simple. Making money becomes very, very simple because all you have to do is raise who you are and then it will come to you because you are everything, right? You don't do much. Everything is for you. Nothing is against you. But you need to have a certain state of mind to understand that. And then you can just bring everything to you rather than chasing it. Because you chasing it means that it's not for you. That's why you're chasing it. Even money, you don't chase it. It comes to you. You attract it. And the way to attract it is to be in a state of being, and then that thing will come to you. Okay. So in future, we will learn more about how to put ourselves in a place where things will come to us rather than us chasing things. Money, and let me say this, money is a tool that we use. It's not something that we acquire. It's just a tool. So we don't chase that tool. We use it. So we wait for it to come to us and then we use it, right? And it's a trap. So don't focus too much on it. As much as that's what everybody's aiming for in life. Yes, it's good to have it, but don't chase it. Let it come to you. Uh, again, I think I'm saying too much right now.
I
I
T,
can go
I
on.
got it. Yeah, I know, and I gotta say, you're an absolute legend, man. Like what you're saying is profound. It's true. It's deep. It's exactly how it is. And a little bit of like that personal development thing. It's not something to take lightly. Something to incorporate into a daily routine and a daily schedule. Reading, exercising, meditating, eating well. 100% am with you on that.
Yeah, and just to cap it off, always live your life as if it's your last day, right? Because
Yeah,
um, we are all on that queue. We are all on that queue to move to the next plane of existence, or we are on that queue to basically not exist in this physical realm. Okay, no one is immortal. You're not going to live forever, and you don't know when you are going to die. If you knew, then you probably live differently, but you don't. So you have to live your life as if every day is your last day. And if that's the case, then you need to pay attention to what is actually beyond this. I know most people don't believe in afterlife and stuff like that, but you came from somewhere, right? You didn't just manifest. You came from somewhere and you'll be going somewhere. Okay, you might not believe it now, but that's the case. You might be blind to it because you are too attached to the physical. Okay, if you get too attached to the physical, that's when you get blind to what's actually important in life. So just, to give you a heads up, be aware that you are not immortal. And, yesterday someone died. That person that died is not different from you. You just lucky to be here. Okay, so pay attention to your life, yourself. Don't let, again, money be your main goal. As long as we are here to help you make it, don't make it your main goal. Developing yourself is the key, and then the money will help you to live a better life. Okay,
yeah.
so just take that on board.
Relationships. Yeah.
Yeah,
The most
go
important
ahead,
things in
go.
life. My brother, I know that we've been going for quite a while and yeah, as always, like the jaws on the ground, not just from the charts, but from your mindset and really looking forward to the next session.
Awesome, awesome. Same. I'm excited because I really want people to um evolve. That's the goal.
Yeah,
Evolve, not just um spiritually, physically,
hmm,
emotionally, mentally, financially, everywhere. You need to evolve. And that's what we are here to help people to do.
yeah, amazing. I'm actually speechless, just so you know. Like I'm just processing everything you're saying. So, and it's all exactly it's beautiful.
Awesome. So I think we will call it a day and then we will probably, you know, meet tomorrow, observe NFT and see what it will do. And that will also give us an outlook of how we're going to be seeing the currencies and other stuff.
Thank you very much, IT, and thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll be following up with the summary very shortly. That's been figured out, and thanks very much.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Take care.